to the good days, here's to the sorrows. This is a mistake, I know about tomorrow. I don't wanna fight no more, cause I don't feel the need no more, no. Just wanna make it stop. Maybe it's something in the water, or maybe we just hit the end of the road. Right now it doesn't even matter, it's too late not to let it go. And that's why I wish you the best and say goodbye. You start to get dressed and then we cry, cause we both know it's gonna hurt, but not as much as this does. We had a good run, don't say we didn't. I was your first love, and you were my first one. Cheers to all the memories, the venom and the remedies, yeah. Promise I won't forget, yeah. Maybe it's something in the water, or maybe we just hit the end of the road. Right now it doesn't even matter, it's too late not to let it go. And that's why I wish you the best and say goodbye. You start to get dressed and then we cry, cause we both know it's gonna hurt, but not as much as this does. So baby, bye. It's for the best and you know why. You gotta leave me here tonight before we make this even worse. It's gonna hurt even more than this does. We gave it up, we had its time to say bye, baby, bye. I'll be, you'll be, yeah, we'll be fine. So let's call it a night, and that's why I wish you the best and say goodbye. You start to get dressed and then we cry, cause we both know it's gonna hurt, but not as much as this does. So baby, bye. It's for the best and you know why. You gotta leave me here right now before we make this even worse. It's gonna hurt even more than this does.
Hi, everybody. Thank y'all for joining me, and thanks to DC and Aaron for sending y'all over here. That is so nice. Do y'all like my new background? I love the pink too. Y'all know that's my favorite color. Apparently, because, you know, I'm all in pink. And I got my nails done because my brother's wedding is this weekend in Vegas, so I'm going to go to Vegas. And guess who I'm going to see in Vegas? My best friend, Aaron Bees. Do you like my chill pill? Because sometimes people just need one, right? So I'm going to hand out some if I need to. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad to be live. I haven't gone live in so long. I've been working a lot, but I love my job. I love what I do. It's been great. JJ, what do you think of the Barbie movie? I cried like 3 times. I loved it so much. I thought it was so good. And I like that it wasn't like a PG movie. Do you know what I mean? I personally liked that it was like PG-13 and that there was like a little crassness and like a little sexual innuendos. I thought that was funny. I love the new setup. I'm a pink girl too. Not of the Mary Kay shade though. No Mary Kay pink here, baby. We missed you. I missed y'all so much. I really appreciate y'all being here. And again, really, DC and Aaron, thank y'all for sending them this way. That is so awesome. Hey, Melody, thanks for being a member. Yay. You also have the option to be a member if y'all would like to. But I'm just glad to be live. I have missed being live. I know this is going to sound so cringy, but like I've been a little down, and I think it's because I really haven't been doing my YouTube stuff that I normally do. Like, you know, I'm posting a couple videos a week, but I actually genuinely love what I do on YouTube, and I've missed it a lot. So I was like, okay, before I go to Vegas, I'm going to go live with everybody. And we're going to react to one of our favorites. And I know that y'all were just watching her on DC and Aaron's on Aaron's and DC's live, but this is not the same thing. Okay, this is a different podcast. Because let's be honest, there's a lot of PG-13 Barbie play going on in our childhood. True. That's true. I'm now a pink girl, so you can have my pink. Yay! I love that. I will take it. You are glowing, girls. Happy to see you. I'm so happy to see y'all. I'm very, very happy to be here. So little housekeeping. If you could like the stream, that'd be great. If you could leave a comment when this is over, that'd be great. I'm also attempting to update my stuff. Like, I'm going to update my streaming stuff, and it's going to not, it's going to be more streamer-y, right? Like more live-y and not so basic, which basic's fine. Basic is fine. Oh yeah, Savannah's going to be there too, and I'm going to see Savannah too. So me, Aaron, and Savannah are going to be together. Isn't that going to be super crazy? I'm so excited. And if you aren't able to comment, it's because you aren't a subscriber. So, I mean, it just makes sense to have subscribers only comment, right? So you're welcome to subscribe and comment. And, let's just do our thing. I'm so pumped. So this is over an hour long. I was just like, let's go hard or go home today, shall we? Y'all are so funny. Okay, well, if Matt Walsh is offended by the Barbie movie, then that means I'm on the right side of history. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with our reaction. And honestly, I haven't watched it, so let's hope for the best. But it's Jessie Lee, so expect the worst, right? Let's go. So I'm not DC. I don't have like a disclaimer, but I do on my other videos. So I don't think I need a disclaimer on here. I also put my disclaimer in my every single description. So a lot of creators do a lot of different things, and that's just not something that I do on my lives.
Business coach and podcaster, just to name a few. In less than 4 years, she has built her current network marketing team to over 1.6 million customers and 21,000 promoters worldwide in 41 different countries. No big deal. She's the top-rated entrepreneur podcast host of The People's Mentor.
Okay, this guy needs to stop kissing her butt. This is just ridiculous. He is kissing her butt. Look at her. She's glowing. She's so excited. It's interesting. Okay. So Aaron and I, y'all remember the Jane Marie and the Jessie Lee Ward podcast, right? We remember that recently where Jessie Lee streamed it. She wasn't, they weren't, Jane Marie didn't want that to happen. Like, it was just kind of interview, right? And I did a reaction video to it and I posted it. And we talked, so Aaron and I were messaging AM Social Psychology. Does anyone remember AM Social Psychology? I've got to show y'all her before we get into this. If you remember her, let me know. Seriously, incredible creator. They haven't been creating lately, but they only have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 videos maybe, and they have almost 3,000 subscribers. Like, very, very, very good. So let me show you who they are, and you should watch their videos because they're really, really good. Let's see. Okay, so we were talking with AM Social Psychology, and we were just curious, like, about what she thought about that interaction. And she was telling us, let me see. I'm only going to read a little bit, but this person is so incredibly smart. Let's see. I would love for her to do a reaction. So she said, hold on, I've got to go to my group message with her. Aaron. There we go. There we go. She said, just in case I don't have time to make a video on this, I want to tell y'all what I see in case it will help you continue to heal. So what I'm seeing here is a person who has not surpassed the emotional age of about 12. Okay. By the way, I'm not going to read it all because I do want her to do a video on it. And I think that I mean, obviously she'll have way more to say than this, but this is the emotional age of most narcissists. As her mask falls, she crosses her arms, giggles, and says things like, well, duh. Just like one would expect a 12-year-old girl to, just how one would expect a 12-year-old girl to act if she got called to the principal's office. Also, she speaks as though she believes that she is somehow 100% in charge of whether her cancer will be beat or not, which is an incredibly sad belief, because with such belief, she will probably continue to chase things other than her spiritual health. Another sad thing is about 1,600 supposedly people are being led by someone with the emotional capacity of a 12-year-old pretending to be an adult. I was like, yes. I am so grateful that she sent us some of her thoughts. I really hope she does a video. I am going to talk to her later, but I know that she's super busy, and she's a psychologist. She's got a lot going on. But anyway, I wanted to share that with y'all because, incredible, right? So true. Also, thank you so much. Y'all are so sweet. But if you haven't seen AM Social Psychology's video, y'all are going to absolutely love them. They are incredibly intelligent. They are very well spoken. It is just genuinely a great video, plus very educational. And we love that around here, right? We love educational videos. Okay, let's continue. Sorry, my husband's home. Let's continue with Jessie Lee.
Currently has over 10 million downloads and counting, and her beautiful and raw content across all social platforms will penetrate your soul. Big facts. Her ability to scale a business and move people is second to none. She's here to teach you all her best boss tips and tricks and show you how to fight cancer by accepting your diagnosis.
I guess my question is, then why did two of her biggest legs just leave and she lose like over $500,000 in income? Is she that great of a leader if two of her biggest legs just left and she lost over $500,000 in income? You know what's funny is that actually one is her biggest leg that left. She, Jessie Lee, would not allow to be a part of the empire. Isn't that interesting? So now she's pissed, right, that this person left. However, Jessie's the one that exiled this person. Which legs? One of them, I'll have to ask Aaron. One of them went to Q Sciences, which, come on, yeah. And then I don't know where the other one went. This is new, by the way. I forgot the name of the person that we were talking about, though. I'll ask Aaron, and then I'll let y'all know. How about that? Let's keep watching.
But not your prognosis. She's just a juggernaut in all facets of life and a terrific human being. Please welcome the resilient, dynamic, and abundant, the trailblazing and authentic Jessie Lee Ward. How you doing, Jessie Lee?
Oh my gosh, Craig, after that intro, I feel like I can take over the world. A juggernaut. I love it. I'm really here for this right now. So, wow, thank you. And you should also say sugar snap pea survivor. You have to add that in there because in case I start randomly coughing in the middle of this, I just survived a traumatic attack from a sugar snap pea about 7 minutes ago. So everybody chew before you swallow.
Yeah, I love it. And we're always overcoming obstacles, some bigger than others. And I know you just went through that. And when you and I were talking before we hit record, we kind of just crossed paths, but it's one of those rare relationships that's energetically where I feel like I've known you for so long. And there's literally no place in the world than I would rather be than.
Many of y'all are asking who is interviewing her. Literally, I don't know. I'm going through these messages and I can't tell. She didn't put it down either. Also, he didn't introduce himself.
Right here with you.
Oh, I appreciate that so much. And I really feel like I've had this conversation with very few people, but I'll have it with you, where it's like sometimes you meet somebody and you just go, yeah, that's my person. And I feel like I had that immediately with you, where it's like, yeah, no, that's my dude. Don't talk crap about him. Like, I'll come for you. I love that.
Oh, yeah. And likewise. And for our audience that are listening, we're about 6 million now. In case you're not familiar, my best suggestion is do a deep dive, play catch up, check out all her content, all the cool stuff she has going on all the platforms. What I think is most valuable today is we should have an unbelievable conversation. But before we dive in, we're going to get a little weird. You ready for me?
Oh my gosh, I'm really excited now. Yeah, let's get weird.
What is your superpower?
Oh, my superpower.
Okay, wait. I want to know what y'all think. What do you think she's going to say? So this guy, by the way, still don't know who it is. Craig Siegel, maybe. I literally have no idea. He didn't introduce himself and she didn't say who it was on the Facebook post. What do you think? So we just asked her, what's your superpower? So, I mean, obviously the memes, right? Scamming, right? V said scamming is a superpower. What do you think? We love the meme superpowers, by the way. You can keep them coming. What do you think she's going to say her superpower is? Think about it. 12-year-old, right? In her mind, she's like a 12-year-old. And she thinks beyond highly of herself and lacks compassion for others. Kaismo reacted to his interview with Heidi Powell. Oh, okay, good. Okay, yeah. So Claire said that this person is Craig Siegel. Craig Siegel. Thank you, Claire. Strong will. Being genuine. You know, that's a good one. Alex, if she says empathy, I'm out. I'm rolling and I'm flinging myself into my door. This is my best friend, Erin Beast, that I get to see this weekend in Vegas, and I'm so excited. Okay. She's going to say sales, selling. Okay. Okay. Mindset. Okay. All right. Let's hear it. Y'all ready? Let's hear it. Sorry. Let me get my stuff together. There we go.
I wish more people asked me that because then I'd have some amazing answer ready to go to just go boom. My superpower is probably that I could say a couple things. First thing I'd say is,
of course, she'll say a couple things, right? She can't just stick to one because, well, it's Jessie Lee.
It's probably that I'm super authentic and I'm willing to be wrong.
Who said it? Amy? Did you say genuine? Genuine and would y'all say those are the same thing? Genuine and authentic? I think so. I think they're pretty much the same thing, right? Yeah.
Most people aren't, and they have to look perfect all the time. And for me, it's just been, I'm going to put myself out there and live life out loud, and you're going to love me or you're not, but I'm just going to at least be myself.
That's interesting, Jessie, because remember when you took a bunch of people to Colombia and practically like ABUSE them in Colombia when you took them on that quote unquote hike, that you said you tricked them. You said it was 2 hours, but it's actually 15. You said a bunch of things. Remember when you said that? And then you said that we were all lying that you said that? Even though we showed your video saying all of that? And in that video, it was like you were bragging. So what is it? Did you go to Colombia and take all these people and do everything that you said you did? Or did you lie? Because it can only be one of those two things, right? I mean, we know it's the first one that she actually did it because they all said it too. Were you there though, JJ? Nope. And you know what? I can only speak of things that I have done or that I was there for. So I couldn't tell you that, you know, the white powdery stuff that people put in their nose is bad for you. I can't say that. I never tried it. You know what I'm saying? But seriously, that makes me laugh so hard when she says that. Anyway, but it's storytelling, JJ. You know what? You're right. She should have written a book about it. Drawn us some images. You know what I mean? That'd have been a good, I'd read that book over and over. Her superpower is gaslighting, in my opinion. Did she say willing to be wrong? Kara, that she did. She said that. And, you know, for Jessie, I really believe what AM social psychology said is so true, because it's one thing to lie and know you're lying, right? I firmly believe that Jessie thinks that she's not lying in the moment. I think that her emotional capacity is 12. And I just think that she thinks she's being real, genuine, and authentic, when in reality, like, we all know that's not true. But I genuinely agree with AM social psychology about that. Because one, they know exactly what they're talking about. They're psychologists. They have extensive education on it. And two, it makes sense, right? Because she lies about stuff that is so easily provable. And it's like, why would she do that? Well, I genuinely believe that she thinks she's right. Oh, my goodness.
Because then I don't have to put on this fake coat of like, here's who I am over here, here's who I am over here. And I think that gets me really, really, really far in business and in life.
It's interesting that you say that, because I was inauthentic for a long time. I guess I was trying to fit in, and I totally reinvented myself in the pandemic from Wall Street to what I'm doing now. And I finally got into alignment, and it exploded. I say very humbly. But maybe you don't know because you've always been authentic, but for me, being inauthentic is so tiring. And ironically enough, when you become authentic, it's liberating and it's light free. And ironically, you're right. You're not going to be for everybody, and that's okay. Life will act as a true authentic filter. The right people will gravitate, and the wrong people can take a hike, right?
Yeah, well, I have not always been authentic, though.
I mean, she can take him on that hike. She'll take him on that hike. They don't need to take a hike. They'll do it with her. You know what I mean?
I think is if we're being honest here, there's times when, of course, just like you, I wanted to fit in. I was bullied a lot as a child, so I got used to being the loner. And then as I became an adult, I was kind of like, well, I don't want to be alone. I want people to like me. I want to fit in, you know. And so you do stupid things. You buy stupid things to impress stupid people you don't even like. I definitely did all those things.
Been there.
Yep. It's like, why? You know, I was just on this ridiculous podcast earlier today, and she's like, when are you ever gonna like not want all the big things? Or I forget how she worded it. I'm like, I don't have this 6-bedroom house anymore. I didn't want it. Like, I live in a penthouse, but it's not, you know, I don't feel like I have to be super flashy and whatever. I want to attract my people.
Did Bosslee Ward just tell us she doesn't feel like she has to be super flashy? Okay. All right, Jessie. Okay.
And so I definitely wasn't that all the time, actually. I haven't always been authentic, but ever since I did, kind of like you, it's like everything started exploding. And you said something that I really love that you said, and I say all the time too. It's like this idea of you trying to be for everybody. If you're trying to be for everybody, you will unfortunately be for nobody, because then you're going to fit in, you're going to not even like yourself. You're going to attract all the wrong people.
I want to apologize. My dogs are losing their minds. They're okay. But actually, I genuinely agree with that, though. I'll be honest with that. You know, if you try to please everyone, you're gonna, like, if you try to be for everybody, then I forgot what she said, but you know what I mean. Like, you know, some people like me as a live. Some people don't. Some people like my recorded videos. Some people don't, and some people don't watch any of my stuff. And or most people like on YouTube, right? Because I only have like 15,000 subs or whatever. Which, by the way, I love. I have 16,000. Thank you so much. What's this?
Your taco salad.
This is my taco salad. I thought it was a cake. I thought you just handed me a cake, right? You think cake, right? And here's the deal. That's life. That's life. Some people are going to like you. Some people aren't. Just be who you are. And the people who like you, you know, it'll be good, right? But with Jessie, though, there's a difference between being yourself and being Bosslee Ward. Bosslee Ward is not compassionate, empathetic, caring. Bosslee Ward is angry, hateful, mean, not even just apathetic, but like straight up, like the opposite of empathetic. I'm sure one of y'all are going to come up with a word for that because I can't think of one right now. And what she says in her podcasts with people are so, I'm repeating myself, it's so easily provable that that's not true. Like, let's see. Someone just said something. Yeah. So Evan said, this lady's constantly talking about her wealth, constantly. However, she is saying right here that that's not something that she does. Well, we know that she does that, right? She just lives in a penthouse. Okay. Woman of the people. Right. Exactly. So I think it's different. There's being yourself and then being, and this is such, I'm not gonna lie, I think this word's kind of like elementary. Being yourself and then being toxic, right? Those are two different things. Oh, apathetic is the opposite of empathy, and I literally said that. Sorry.
You're going to be doing business with people you really don't want to do business with, and then you're totally stuck in a conundrum where you just want to run from your own life. And I see more business owners, unfortunately, doing that. And it's funny, this Threads app that just came out, I see people on there. I'm like, would you just use it differently than all the other social medias? Would you just be yourself maybe once and just see maybe you can actually attract the people that you want, instead of like, let me post my motivational quote of the morning. It's like, whatever. We know you didn't even make your bed. Chill out.
And that's what I'm talking about. I love it. She's like, I'm empathetic, I'm compassionate. Jessie, are you? Have you heard yourself talk? I mean, that was a perfect picture of who Jessie Lee Ward is.
That's true. It's honestly, now that you said that, it's kind of giving me Clubhouse vibes from the beginning of the pandemic when I was like the hottest thing for a second. Yeah. And right away, like for a day, I was really into threads and I was like, this is refreshing. And also it's nice to be there from the beginning with the platform because I started my brand after like TikTok and Instagram and so forth. But then right away, notifications all day. It's like, aren't these people like, don't they have something to do?
Did you make
Guys, it would not be a JulieJo stream if I wasn't muted. Y'all know this. Thank y'all so much. You know it wouldn't be a stream. You know it wouldn't be JulieJo. It wouldn't be a JJ stream if I wasn't muted at least once. Right? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Your nails are cute though. Thanks. Y'all are really nice to me. I appreciate it because I sometimes get annoyed when people do that. Then I do it and I'm like, well, crap. Can't be annoyed anymore. So what's interesting to me is that this is like the picture perfect Jessie Lee, right? Well, they're going to post a quote, but they don't make their bed. Bad people make their bed too. A JJ, it's officially a JJ stream now. Thank you. Thank you. So it's like saying you can make your bed, right? You can make your bed every single morning of your life and do nothing else the rest of the day. Not be disciplined in any other aspect of your life. Making your bed does not define how disciplined you are. So it's just a weird way to kind of define someone's worth and their ability to do something. Like, you can't put quotes like that if you don't make your bed. Anyway. Hey, Katie, welcome. Humble Lee. Yes, Brian. Yes, absolutely.
Like a killing it all on Clubhouse? Like, was that one of your platforms that you really overly utilized, or was it just kind of like
I was really into it for maybe 2 weeks and I saw the value in it. And then I was busy building a life. I can't be on that thing all day long. Like, just like you, I have clients, I'm running a business here. So, you know, in the beginning, but then right away it was like, and also with that platform specifically, I noticed, look, there's fluff and like fugazis, if you will, everywhere.
You're so East Coast. I love it. Yes, okay.
But that platform, it's like, I mean, who do you even, like, do you even know who's really speaking? And it just that became a little inauthentic to me. How about you?
Well, everybody was a multimillionaire, which was interesting to me. I was like, oh, wow. And granted, there are definitely more successful people, I think, than some people realize, especially people who are actually like them, which is interesting. But there were for sure a bunch of fakers on there. However, that little Clubhouse shenanigator, I was only on there for probably a month, but one of my biggest holdups, and I guess this goes to the old tale of your network determines your net worth. I felt like I was always one person away from my big break, and not just in one situation, but it was almost like, oh, all these, like, the one person knows me who could connect me to so and so who could, but I was always one person away. And I've been good friends with Brad Lee, who I know you must know. For years, like 7 years now or something like that. That's my dude. I was one of his first podcasts ever on the real Brad Lee Dropping Bombs show. And he's like, please come to Vegas, record another episode. That I keep like not forgetting, but our schedules are just not compatible right now. He's like, I have to have you on again. I don't have enough women. I'm like, all right, I'm coming. But like, that's my dude. And it was the first day I was ever on Clubhouse. And you know how it was like, you put yourself in the room, or like you're in the room.
Okay, so, I was just muted. If you're on here, that's something that I do. Sometimes I talk when I'm muted and it's ridiculous. One of my best friends just sent me this. She called me while I was muted.
Bitch, you're muted. Unmute.
I love her so much. Oh gosh, that was so funny.
Listening, you're an audience, and they like put you on stage. So I get on his room or whatever, and immediately I'm put on the stage. And it's a conversation about obsession, which I can tell you have this in you, no doubt about it. You're obsessed. That's why one of the reasons you're successful. You've got this energy of like, let's go. You got this killer attitude. I love. It's like I'm so attracted to it.
I think it's a gift, not a curse.
Oh my gosh, I love it. And so I'm in this room, and it's all the players that I've wanted. Like if I started listing people, it's all these A-list business celebrities, right? Are all on the stage with Brad, and he puts me on the stage. I'm like, well, I say A-list business celebrities because like there's like the cream of the crop in the business world, and then there's like Kim Kardashian, and we're definitely not the Kardashians, right? But yeah. So, and
what I find? So she's on this topic about like business celebrities. Something I find interesting about Jessie is I authentically think that she believes she's some kind of celebrity, when in reality, if you ask the rest of the world that's not like multi-level marketing, no one's gonna know her. LOL, JJ, CEO of Mute. It's true. No one's gonna know her. She's not a celebrity. And the only place she might be a quote unquote celebrity is in multi-level marketing. But even then, she is hated by many in multi-level marketing. So, excuse me. So I always find that so interesting how highly she thinks and talks about herself, when if she stepped out of her bubble, no one would know or care about her.
I'm on the stage, and people are kind of talking badly about the word obsession. And for me, I have several shirts that say obsessed across it, because I'm totally obsessed. It could be my middle name. If I'm into something, I'm so into it. I don't know how to do something halfway.
Charlie,
so I unmute, and just for 10 minutes, I'm like ripping on obsession. And afterwards, it ended up, my DMs were just flooded with blue checks, when blue checks actually meant something. Just kidding. And I had one too, so no big deal. But it ended up opening me up into a world of like the mastermind world. It opened me up into, it just changed. It actually ended up being one of the biggest unexpected.
So yeah, this is also, so there's etiquette, right? Claire, this is a really good point, because with podcasts, you don't repost someone else's interview of you on podcast. And by that, I mean, you don't go live like what she does, because that's taking away listens and downloads from their podcast. And if you are a podcast host, or you know some of this etiquette, there is etiquette and creation and creating. And I'm not saying you have to know it all, but there's like basic respect. And I think Claire's right. This is just really disrespectful that she posts her own videos of podcast recordings that the other people are hosting, because what she's essentially doing is taking views, listens, downloads away from the person who invited her on, who took a moment to like reach out and wanted to get her on. That is just so disrespectful. You might disagree, and that's okay. But I mean, I agree with Claire. I think that it is.
Networking things that shifted a lot of stuff in business. I've ended up I own part of 14 different little businesses, not little businesses, but businesses, because of that little silly app. So you never know. But Threads is driving me crazy, but I'm posting weird stuff over there, so it's all good.
Yeah, I hear you, and we're on the same page with everything. And I'm glad to hear that I took advantage of Clubhouse at the time. Is that thing even still around?
I think it's basically bankrupt, which is crazy, because I heard, and I don't know if this is true, but I heard that the owners passed on like something ridiculous, like a multi-billion-dollar deal was offered to them. And they were like, no, we're not ready to sell yet. And now it's worth nothing. So
yeah, I think she's been sold 3 months into the pandemic when you realize the stock is at its highest, but that's another conversation. I want to sit here for a second, because I knew we were aligned, but this is on a different level. The word obsessed, and this is straight off the cuff. It's funny because I was talking to my fiance on Saturday at dinner, and we were talking. I'm just gonna be really vulnerable right now. She's talking about like, I know you had a lot of friends like back in the day, like before we met, but like right now, like.
I'm muted. That's a really good point, CE. CE said, notice she didn't do that to Ed Milet. He had a better contract. Yes, I also think that she respects him. Like, I think that she sees him as richer, higher up. Like, that's her mentor. But she doesn't respect these other podcasts that she's being a part of. She's just making content with it. But that's a good point. And I also think it's just because she doesn't respect these people at all.
If we were to go to the Hamptons, like, who would you invite? Like, I'm like, to be honest with you, I don't really have that many friends these days by design. I'm obsessed with building CLS and I like to hang out with all the people that are in my world now, like you, like people that have a common future, not a common past.
Yep.
And she got it, but not probably like you get it because, you know, this is your lifestyle. And when you're obsessed, like, if you're not obsessed, I can understand why people would frown upon that. But when you know, and that's why you are where you are, is because you're obsessed.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing, I think. I don't think it's a curse at all.
No, I think it's important if you want to take something to the next level. And that little note you just said, I want to reiterate so everyone listening to this understands the importance of this. It's okay to have people from your past that you love so much, and even your present time, but it's that commonality of the future, like you said, which makes a world of a difference. Because if you are on the same path as your inner circle, what are you going to do? You're going to take over the world together.
Yeah, so good. I couldn't agree more. Yeah, and also, like, I know this about you right away. Like, you love what you do. So, like, and I was having a conversation. I'm guessing a lot of podcasts now as we get ready for book launch in a month, and someone was asking me, like, what is work-life balance?
I will say I haven't watched the Ed Milet podcast with Jessie Lee Ward, but I think I'm going to. And Charlene says her energy with Ed Milet was so different. I find that so intriguing. And again, like, someone made a good point, was like, she was in person with Ed Milet. So that's also another reason that she probably didn't live stream it. But to know that her energy was different, again, I think it's just the lack of respect for other people and, like, the absolute respect for Ed Milet, who, by the way, not great. I'm not a fan. And
to be honest with you, I don't know, because now I've created this life where I love to work. And it is work. I want to be clear. It's like, you know, the expression, when you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. That's not true. When you love what you do, you'll never feel like you work. Because make no mistake about it, we're putting in.
I even think, like, I still feel like I work, but I love what I do. So it doesn't, it's a dichotomy shift. It's like, I'm fully aware I outwork people. I know I'm obsessed about stuff. I know that the balance doesn't look like the balance that everybody else maybe is looking for. But for me, balance is like, okay, if we all have a circle and this is like a pie and we have 24 hours in the day of the pie, your balance and my balance sounds like it's pretty similar. But for somebody else, what balance might be for them is their piece of the pie for family life might be like this big. Yours might be this big, but you might be super quality time with your fiance when it is, right? And then 100%. when it's and then your pie has, you know, 3/4 of it or whatever with work. It's like, but that makes you feel in balance. And so I want people to really understand the concept of, if we all have the same amount of time, what makes you actually feel in balance? Is it, do you need X amount of time for sport? Do you need X amount of time for family life? Do you need X amount of time for rest? Do you need X amount of time for business and work or whatever? But
y'all, I'm literally so sorry. It's been so long since I've been alive. Okay. I'm not muted. So, first off, Always Marco's 1 million view video was taken down. That freaking sucks. Why? I would be so upset. And then Unfiltered Truths had a really good point, and it's something I want to cover because I see this as an issue. You might disagree. Unfiltered Truths said the only people in her circle are those who make money from her, I believe. Correct. I want to add on to that, though. They are also, thanks, DC. They are also only people who make a lot of money. So, okay, y'all said muted late, and I was like, there's no freaking way I'm still muted. My heart almost fell out of my butt. Stop, y'all. I was scared, but I'm not muted anymore. Hey, Katie. But it's interesting watching someone like her. Not only is her inner circle people who make money or who she makes money off of, but mostly it's who make money from her. And it's people who are richer than her. So I see that as a huge issue. I see that as super, you might disagree, very classist. It seems that she will refuse to be close with someone who is not wealthy or who is not making a lot of money or someone that she can't boast about that's in her team, right? He made a Primerica video, infiltration documentary style. Oh, dang. You know what? I did see that. That was recent, right? God, that sucks, Marco. That's ridiculous that he had to take it down. Some people may be delayed. Okay, cool. Thank you, Morty. Or people she just makes money from. Yeah. So careful. Sorry, I'm reading some comments. But her closeness is never real. She keeps people at a distance. That's a good comment. I believe that that's true. But also the idea of like, could you imagine refusing to build relationships or be friends with someone who is not wealthy? I just find that to be so like they're just in outer space. They're not down to earth. Like they live in their own reality. But y'all, she's so genuine and authentic. That is funny.
Everybody's idea of balance is so different that I find it difficult for people to coach on it or speak on it and really have an opinion where they want to tell somebody else what balance looks like, because it's your inner game. It's what I find. Where do I find peace? If I spend 18 hours a day on a couch watching TV, I don't have balance. I actually feel and you're going to like, I don't feel it balanced. You feel out of balance. Like the equilibrium of our lives would not feel calm. For some people, they're like, hell yeah, give me 18 hours on a couch. I'll work for 2, I'll sleep for the rest, right? Or something like that. But that's your idea of balance. So this idea that everyone's work-life balance has to be the same doesn't actually, if you think about it, makes sense, because we're all different humans living a completely different human experience, trying to figure out what balance is for us.
Yeah, it's an individual assignment. And also you're so driven and so passionate. And for our listeners that might not be familiar with your story, and just to be clear, I would encourage everybody go check out what she's doing immediately at this conversation. But you're currently battling cancer, public enemy number 1. So is my father. And and we had you on the paradigm shift maybe a week or 2 ago. It was so much fun. And we were talking about like what a doctor says is your diagnosis is one thing, but what you plan to do about it is something totally different. And you have so much to live for. You're excited, you're passionate, you're goal driven, you have a strong desire. And I feel like that keeps you so enthusiastic about life and able to not only fight cancer, but thrive. And you give that analogy of someone sitting on the couch for 18 hours, like not being judgmental, but I don't see, how that's exciting.
Are we shaming cancer patients who can't do what she's doing? Are we shaming cancer patients who have to lay on the couch for 18 hours, who are extremely ill? Are we lifting up those who are overworking themselves while they're incredibly ill? That is wild. Could you imagine sitting there and agreeing with someone who's saying, look at you getting up, going around. You're not the kind of person who has cancer and lays on the couch for 18 hours. And what about those who need to? It's just mind-boggling to me how these things don't sit like, people have filters, right? We all have filters. Some of us don't. And you know what? You do you. But they truly have been so far removed from what is actually reality, that their filter of empathy and compassion is gone. Like, absolutely gone. Holly said, JJ, my opinion, she shames cancer patients who decide to go the traditional route and take chemo and or radiation. Yeah, that's a good point too. Like, frankly, I don't care what Jessie Lee decides to do, but if you're like, you know, doing medical misinformation as someone who, I'm an ultrasound technician, if y'all don't know, I work in the medical field. If you're doing medical misinformation, you suck. And if you are shaming people for choosing a route that, like, chemo and radiation, if you're talking crap about it and shaming it because you think it's bad and you don't want to do it, that's ridiculous. Brian said these two aren't even listening to each other. Bosslee's constantly thinking about her next statement. Rolls in 40 minutes late because I was watching EDV and the trial, lol. Hey, we're glad that you're here. Demi said the way they have to put down other people all the time just reeks of insecurity, in my opinion. That's a really good statement, Demi. And I would agree. I think a lot of it is insecurity. I think a lot of it is they feel like they have to be better than the other person they're talking to. And the insecure idea of, like, if they make a better statement than me, right? Or if they do something better than me, it's weird. And yes, Kirsten said they shame disability and chronic illness 100%. 100%. I saw people saying ableist, and I do agree that, like, these statements are very ableist of them.
Or making you accomplished, if you will.
For sure, no. Well, so since I saw you last, by the way, I got my scans back, and my disease is not only stable, but it's regressing. So
I never really like watched someone's live. Like, I don't really have much time, but I saw yours, and I'm attracted to you right out the gate when we connected, and I just listened, and I had this moment, like, you know, when you see a corny movie, you're like, I'm not crying, you're crying. I just watched it, and I had a feeling it was coming, and I was so excited about it. Tell the listeners the news.
Yeah, so I was diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic colon cancer in February, and for 6 months I decided to take a holistic route because they told me I would be dead in October. So I just made the personal decision to not accept my prognosis, but accept the diagnosis because the disease is very real, and took the change.
Oh. You know what? Make the personal decision to not accept your diagnosis. All right. So, like, can I be honest? I don't know how much I believe in what she's saying currently. And I don't mean that in any way other than shit's not adding up. You know what I'm saying? But I do believe she has cancer, obviously. I'm not that person.
Changed my whole life. Like, everything about my life changed. I mean, I'm sitting over here choking on sugar snap peas before the interview because I went vegan, just as a small example. But I mean, I really flipped my life completely upside down and really have transformed, like, completely. Like, I'm like the little caterpillar that went into its chrysalis, and then here I am becoming a butterfly. So I did a CT scan about 3 weeks ago now, with contrast, of course, and compared to my February results. And yeah, disease is stable and regressing in all of the lymph nodes, including stomach and this whole area that everything was in, which is just, I mean, it's the impossible becoming possible, which I guess is really what my entire life has kind of been. And that's how I really attack everything. And, you know, attacking cancer, like accepting cancer was kind of for me the same, but different, of accepting, okay, I don't want to be poor anymore, and then doing the most to change my life. It's like, I don't really know how to do anything halfway. Back to the word obsession again.
I don't like the idea of you can get yourself out of poverty. Now, let me explain why, because you can, but not everyone can. Like, that's just how, what is it called? Privilege, right? Privilege. Some people have the privilege of getting themselves out of a bad situation. Others don't. It's life, and it's awful. But you can't sit there and act like everyone has the same opportunity, because they don't. Not everyone has the same opportunity. You can't just say, well, I just worked really hard and I got myself out, and imply that everyone can do that. That's not true. And also imply that everyone can do that if they work hard, right? Because then you're saying those that can't do that, it's just because they don't work hard. Well, that's also not true. Oh, Thunder Chick. My husband, Alan, passed from colon cancer. He had chemo and radiotherapy. He got an extra 2 years, and thank God for it. I'm so sorry that you've experienced that, but I'm very glad that you got an extra 2 years with him. I'm very glad. But again, I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm sure that Alan was amazing. People do not choose to suffer. Yeah, people don't choose that kind of thing. It's luck, it's health, it's the motivation, the kickstart. Yeah, not everyone's willing to scam. True. Kara, this is a good statement. The bootstrap argument is just so tired and untrue, right? Strap, put your bootstraps tight and like go for it. It's like, that's just not true. I mean, we know that in this world now, that's just not true.
I don't understand that. I don't understand people who say, I don't like the way my life currently is. I don't like the car I drive. I don't like the house I live in. I don't like how I can't donate. I don't like that I have to say no to dinners out with my friends. And then they won't work extra. I've never understood that. Well, I didn't accept stage 4 cancer. Okay. I'm like, I don't.
Yeah, I'm sure that a lot of people wish that they could just not accept stage 4 cancer. She's acting like she made the decision and that's why she's still alive. No, you're lucky. Sorry if I seem like I'm getting so intense. It just makes me so mad. Like, I see children with cancer every day at work. I see people with cancer every day at work. They didn't freaking choose it. And they don't get to just choose not to have it. They don't get to just say, well, I chose not to accept my diagnosis. That's not, again, let me reiterate, reality. That's just not reality. She is dangerous, 100%. Aya said, you pay a guy $35,000 an hour for life coaching. Wow. Choosing chemo and radiation is the harder choice. Wit, that is so good. Because she's acting as though choosing chemo and radiation is easy. That's an easy thing to do. I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure that you've had an easier time with your natural stuff, which fine. You know what? If you like the natural way, you do you. Personally, I will choose the medical route, but again, I am a medical professional and I do that. I take medicine and stuff. Choosing chemo and radiation is harder. You're going to go through more pain, more suffering. You're going to feel terrible, but it is proven that in a lot of cases, it can potentially help reduce cancer and, potentially get rid of it. Not in all cases, obviously. And it is people who go through chemo and radiation are way stronger than Jessie Lee. I'm just going to be frank about that. I think people who go through chemo and radiation are much more brave. Much more brave. And I'm not saying I don't want y'all to think I'm dissing people who choose not to go through chemo and radiation. What I'm doing is I'm specifically using Jessie Lee and how she hates on it and says it's the easy choice and that it's ridiculous. And talking about how people who choose it are braver than her. And freaking rock stars. I mean, they're choosing something that's way more difficult than she could ever do. So, all right, I'll press play before I get too intense.
Like this. I'm not married yet. I don't have kids yet. I haven't left nearly the legacy I want to live behind. I'm not done building this life. Well, I don't accept that. What do? We change. And then I got to work. And so I guess, the old saying of how you do anything is how you do everything is just ringing very, very true.
Me neither, Heather.
At this point in time, I'm either all in or I'm all out. And I'm all in with showing people you can do things a little.
Y'all, I want to shout out to Cindy. And so Cindy is actually Courtney Shepherd's mother-in-law. Courtney Shepherd is one of Jessie Lee Ward's best friends. And I just want to thank Cindy and her husband who came on. Cindy comes on every once in a while, but her and her husband came on during one of our lives and we're just kind of explaining more of the situation. I just greatly appreciate when Cindy shows up and talks out about it. Thank you, Cindy, for being here. I'm sure it's not easy. And definitely what y'all are going through is not easy. So thanks for being here.
A little bit differently and your body can heal. So.
Well, the thing I've ever heard, to be honest with you. And I get this feeling that when you got your scan results back, you probably weren't shocked because that's just you're playing offense. You're attacking this thing and you're doing your thing. And I imagine you're a little bit maybe a little delusionally optimistic.
I'm super delusionally optimistic. I love that.
I love when people get that they're Delulu, Like, oh, you get that you're Delulu. Cool. Okay, so we're like on the same page.
People like frown upon that word delusional, but like, what's the alternative? Like be realistic.
I'm super delusional. I'm disillusioned about the negativity in the world. I don't see it. I don't believe it. I don't want to hear it. It's crazy because I haven't released my episode 2 of the cancer stuff yet in my YouTube channel, but it comes out on Friday. But like, I blacked out when the doctor told me that I was going to be dead in October. I mean, my brain went, nope, like does not compute, does not accept. Thank God my best friend was there because I don't have a memory of it. So that's, oh, he's so cute. That's, oh, I know you're doggy. He's so sweet. Look at the baby. Oh, but that's how I really am with everything around it. You know?
DC, thank you so much. I'm feeling really emotional today because I'm just so happy to be back, and I just really appreciate all of you. If you're not subbed to DC, please do. She's incredible. And I actually believe DC or Aaron or both together, did y'all cover Jessie Lee's part 2 of her cancer stuff? I know someone did, so you don't have to go watch Jessie Lee's video. You can watch theirs.
You know, it's like, do I realize that I'm incredibly positive about the situation? Yeah. But I also understand the severity of the disease. And so was I shocked when the doctor called? Well, okay, first of all, the doctor called, but I missed the call. And he said, call back right away. I landed in LA. So I was with my boyfriend and we're in the car. He's like, hey, babe, have you called the doctor yet? I'm like, no. Because, you know, you just, I don't know, like you get sick of hearing bad news all the time. He's like, well, why don't we call? I'm like, fine, we'll call. So I call, and I should have put 2 and 2 together that he kept delaying calling me for weeks because there was no bad freaking news, you know? But now I see that in retrospect. So then I call him. He says, hey, it's Dr. Tootie. I'm like, hey, how are you? And he goes, well, and then he tells me everything. And we're giggling. I guess giggling was the first reaction, just like that gleeful, like, kind of thing. And then I'm sobbing, you know, just like what, and it was just the emotional release of all of it. And you know, it's still a long journey. We got a ways to go, but this is already what people said couldn't be done. And I like proving people wrong. That's sort of my track record. So
here's something interesting to me. Cancer isn't just like, oh, it's going away. It's gone, done, cured. Sadly, right? Sadly. It can spark back up. I mean, you have to be like in remission for like 7 years to be considered cured from cancer. And even then, it can come back up. So what she doesn't understand is, even though that she says, which, you know, whatever, I'm not going to say anything other than what I'm saying right now, and that's it. What she says about her cancer regressing, that doesn't mean really much, right? It doesn't really mean much until it's gone, till there's no more cancer in her scans. Now, if it actually is regressing, great. However, you're not in the clear. I wish, I don't know, maybe I've never had cancer, so I don't understand. And maybe that's just my ignorance. But I wish you would take it more seriously.
Oh, add another one to the list. Let's go. Let's kill this cancer. Yalla.
Just made me emotional when you tell story for obvious reasons, but also like, I know what you mean. Like you weren't in a rush to call back, and then you did, and just like, but also I'm so proud of you. Like, I remember when I reinvented myself in the pandemic, I had this spiritual awakening where I did this eulogy exercise where I basically asked myself, like, at the time, if this was it for me, like, how do I feel about my impact, my contribution, my legacy? And I significantly underachieved up to that point. Yes, I made some money on Wall Street, but I was miserable. I didn't put a dent in the universe. And that's like a little bit of what inspired me to really find out why I'm here, my assignment, go all in, and the rest of this day is history. And you have so much more to go. You're just getting warmed up. But I mean, you really went for it. Like, you're playing all out in life, and you should be so, and I just want to reiterate again, probably about another 100 years, but you live with a sense of urgency regardless. You're going for it, and you're such an inspiration for everybody. And you don't need a diagnosis to tell you to have a sense of urgency. That's how you live.
I'm sorry, just Jake.
That's how I've been with everything. You know, people would say, calm down. I'm sure they said the same thing to you. Or why, like, what are you rushing for? Or, hey, pace yourself. And something I heard a long time ago that I've always loved and held on to is somebody told me early on in my entrepreneurial career, they said, success is actually a marathon of sprints. And I went, oh, see, I can see that. Because I'm so goal oriented too, that it would be like, here's the goal. I'm running to it. Not stopping, but like I run to the goal, I accomplish the goal, I breathe. Then I run to the goal, then it's like my whole life is just, okay, because it's kind of like, well, then at the end of your life, think of how many wins you can stack if you don't just kind of crawl your way along to success. And so I've always gone fast. I've always liked to sort of be I'd like to be the pace setter and everything, show people what can be done. I've done that in all the businesses I've been part of and hope to continue to do it for, like you said, 100 more years.
And you will. And you have this mindset, like, you don't look at what is, you look at what could be, right? That's how you look at the world.
Yeah. Well, because I've seen.
Yeah, no, she doesn't look at what is or what could be. She does, but it's in a different reality. It's not in our reality. Like, it's not in like legit reality. It's one that she made up in her brain, in her head.
Things that are impossible become possible many times over. So why would I accept what everybody's telling me is the reality or what's realistic or fill in the blank when I was going to say, we put a man on the moon, but some conspiracy theorists, you probably are one, will say there's no man on the moon. I say, okay, fine. But there's a man somewhere doing something. They said it wasn't possible.
What?
That's awesome. I couldn't report. You have some exciting things going on right now. I feel like you wear a lot of different hats. Obviously, you built a huge company. Now you're part of so many other. I'm just curious, like, what does a typical day look like for you?
It's different now than it was, when before diagnosis. So if we're just being super honest, like right now, it's not the crazy hectic stuff it used to be. And I love it like this because I'm just as productive. However, I am doing only things I want to say yes to. So I say no to pointless meetings. I say no to extra Zooms. I say no to running around to meetings, to whatever. I say no to stages that won't pay me what I'm worth. I say no to, because I used to be like, oh, a free stage will be good for publicity. It's like, no, see, now you're going to pay me. You're going to pay me. I say no to a lot, but I wake up early just because I can't help but wake up early. That's just how I am. I do like my little morning doodad with my dogs and get out.
Congrats, Jessie. That's incredible. You are absolutely incredible for waking up early and doing stuff with your dogs. Solid. Wonderful.
Outside in the sunlight before I ever touch a cell phone, and I just set myself up for success during the day.
Wow, that's so... Everyone, give her the clap that she wants. I'm just freaking kidding. Jessie, no one cares. I don't care how successful you are, or you say that you are. Success is not everything. Success is not, it should not be tied to like who you are as a human being. Here, Jessie, it's a cookie. That is so funny. Ooh, Aaron has tea. Publicity? You mean recruiting? That's what you told me. Cindy said, I think she probably can't get people to sign up for her coaching if she is sick. Maybe not. That's probably a good point, Cindy. Yeah, tiny violin plays in the background. Avery. Oh gosh, wait. I have to keep it. Here, Jessie, you want a cookie? For getting up and doing stuff for your dogs and like being in the sunlight before you look at your phone? Yeah, good job. Great. Now, explain to me why you took 12 people on a 15-hour hike and one, didn't care or think to care about the diabetic person. Two, did not prepare people. 3, intentionally tricked them. 4, saying you wanted to break them. Not destroy, but break them. 5, oh God, I don't know. I feel like there's so much more that I could talk about, right? Like medical misinformation, telling people, pretty much chemo's bad and that they just want your money, which partially is true. Of course they want your money, but it also can do the job too, right? Cancer does not discriminate. I was trying to think of the word earlier for that. Yes, Cancer does not discriminate. Success is so subjective. For me, success looks like being able to spend some quality time with my husband, posting a YouTube video that I had fun scripting, going to work and like feeling like I did the scans I needed to do properly and did each scan and each person justice, right? Like writing the report. How did I write it? Did I get everything correctly? Am I measuring everything correctly? Did I cover my basis? What do you know? Like success is so subjective. I love that, Evan, because it is. Word salad, anyone? How's she going to pivot to wellness and coaching if she still has cancer? Yeah. I hate that mindset is so ableist. Yeah, right? No, but that's so true because it is. Because if you can't get up and make your bed, what are you doing? Right? But like literally, physically, not everyone can do that. That's just, right? That's just logic. Ugh, ridiculous. Get her, JJ. Sometimes she gets me a little riled up, you know?
It's nothing crazy. You know, people with these 9,000 step morning routines. I'm like, I don't do none of that stuff. I joked around about the making. I didn't make my bed either. Okay, it's okay. I don't ever make my bed though. But it does get made every day. It's just not me. Let's be honest. So you know, I have my morning stuff that I do, and then I do get to work. But I only put.
Wait, but that's funny. Did you see what she said there? She went over it really quickly, but she said, "Ow, I just hurt my finger. Well, I hurt my leg with my pokey finger." She said, "I don't make my bed every day. Like I don't make my bed. It does get made every day, but it's just not me making it." Now that is where the privilege lies. That is the difference that she cannot compute in her brain. Did you just hear that? Also, this hit me so well. What? She doesn't make her bed? Jail. Like, oh, it's just ridiculous, right? I mean, these little comments that she makes are intentionally like, okay, I want to know something. I want to know if y'all agree. I think with every person, podcast, interviewer, everyone that she talks to publicly and does a live publicly, she has to poke. She has to look like the wealthier, better off person. Always. And so what she does is she doesn't outright say like, I'm wealthier than you, I'm more successful than you. No, she does that. She does, well, I don't make my bed. Ha ha ha. I mean, it gets made, but it's not me that's making it. Right? Or I don't live in my 6-bedroom house anymore. By the way, she got kicked out of a rent house. That's what it was. We did a whole video over it like over a year ago. But anyway, but my penthouse, it's just not the like, you know, she's pretty much saying like she doesn't live that big house life anymore. So Rebecca B said something, right? Science shows not making your bed can help limit risk of bed bugs. Just saying. Also, who cares if you make your bed? Exactly.
Put in the hours that are necessary to achieve the results that I need to have. So I'm not having to go into hypergrowth anymore. There's a lot more group kind of dynamics and things that I do. I focus really heavily on my education program right now. My coaching business is I'm obsessed. With the exception of being vice president of Prove It, my company. Those are my two big babies. Those are the things that get, I would say, 95% of my attention. So if it needs calls, if it needs a marketing plan, if it needs some kind of structure, if it needs whatever, I'm the operator. You know, right now I've got a really cool like campaign going on right now that people will see. I mean, they're seeing it and they're participating in it and they don't even know. So I'm really, I don't want to tell them, but I mean, no, I'm kidding. It's fine. Like I have a free webinar coming up and I put up the registration for it, I guess 3 days ago now. We have almost 9,000 registered for this free webinar, which is
no big deal.
We haven't run an ad yet either. So we're not going to run ads for that, but then we'll run ads on the back end for other stuff that's coming from that. So I'm launch padding something else into that. But yeah, you know, I'm just kind of crushing every day. But every day I make sure I relax and I find joy and I get in nature and I spend time with my dogs. And I like really, my dogs are a lot of my time. because it's important to me. And
Same.
I got
As you can see,
yeah.
stroking my puppy.
But this is important because I'm a crazy dog person, of course. So I'll see up, but it'll be good for you for the rest of your life. For you, that little doggy you have is a big part of your life right now. But for
100%.
that little doggy's life, you are everything, every day of his life for him. So the reason I'm so nuts about my dogs is because I think about like I'm everything to them.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I'm a big mushball lover. So
it's so funny you said that because I like historical questions. I always ask my fiance. His name is Whiskey.
Don't say it. 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 I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. All right. I looked. I already saw. I said, I know I'm sitting in my chair sideways. LOL. Ignore that. Imani, and I hope I said your name right, said she really loves putting people in situations that they don't know what they're getting into. Sorry, everybody. Sorry. This is so true. And something that I thought was so good that Jane Marie did. If you haven't watched, I think I did it posted it 2 videos ago. It's like Jane Marie and Jessie Lee, like when they talk, and she posted it live. Jane Marie called her out so hardcore at one part. She said, so Jane Marie asked her, are you like aggressive and upbeat and all that stuff in your coaching? Jessie said, you think I'm aggressive? Have you taken my coaching? Jane's like, no. She's like, I'm not aggressive. And Jane's like, oh, so do people know that when they're signing up for your coaching that you're not how you present yourself on social media? And I was like, so good. So good. I mean, because think about it. Many of you mentioned how she like kind of scams people into joining or that she's just not truthful. That point, that blows my mind when Jane Marie said it. I was like, do it again. I want to hear that for the first time again. You know what I mean? Oh, it's awesome. Was that the interview with an anti-MLM podcast? Yes. The biggest anti-MLM podcast. She pretty much like was one of the first people to start anti-MLM stuff. Yeah. Some people disagree, but I agree with you.
By the way,
Whiskey.
I go, let's see, what's Whiskey's job today? She's like, enough, Craig. I'm like, just humor me. What is it? She's like, to wake up and love us.
Yeah.
I'm like, who? Like, who? She's like, me and you. I have the same perspective. I know that I'm everything to this cat. I say cat, dog.
Yeah.
This is the East Coast to me. But I totally get that. It's funny now we go outside and take up a walk in between Zooms. And it's like, now you see the dog community, right? You meet like people like the dog parents, and I just look at them differently. So for you saying that you're a crazy dog lady, I totally get it. And I love it.
Well, and it's funny because I know all the dogs around here. I know all the dogs' names. I don't know the humans' names. Whoopsies. And yeah, my dogs are not allowed to eat dog food. They eat human food. I mean, I'm you know, if anyone's going to call me a little mentally unstable, it would be around my dogs. And I would say, you know what? I'll take that.
What are your dogs' names, Jessie?
Kumba and Wookie. Although it's Kumba Charles and Wookie Lee. So they do have middle names because it's me.
Dogs are so good for your mental health.
Yes.
He's my best friend, if I'm being honest.
Mm-hmm.
Look.
You know what? And the other thing I like to think about with dogs, and this is also a little good nugget for people, is you should try to be the human that your dog thinks you are.
That is so incredible. Oh my gosh. That is life-changing advice that I've never heard before. You really think that Kumba and Wookie would be proud of who you are? Interesting. Also, I'm going to put it on 1.25 speed because they're just like moping around. It's too slow.
It's a good way to live your life. right? Like your dog thinks you have tremendous character. Your dog thinks you are loving and kind and a provider for everyone. Your dog thinks that you are leaving behind this incredible legacy. Your dog thinks that you run the world. Well, so what if you did?
Try to be that guy.
Yeah, I think it's kind of empowering, but yeah, no, I don't know. My day's different, to answer your question. It's different than it used to be, but it's much better. I used to be, just so everyone knows, when I'm in hyper growth mode, it is every half hour an alarm will sound and I will have something on the calendar. Every single half hour, I run meetings 20 minutes with 10 minutes off was always how I did it, basically start to finish throughout the entire day. I would shut basically everything down right around 8 p.m. But that's when I ended up doing personal development. That's when I ended up doing more personal time stuff around the house and prepping for my next day. So it really wouldn't shut down until right around midnight, and I would just go. But not the best for your, adrenals.
That's the season I'm in right now, because we're still building. We started this 2.5 years ago, and I say very humbly, it's exploding. We also have the book coming out next month. Okay. So that's the season I'm in right now. I know that it's not sustainable, but we are hiring and growing, which is fun and also challenging to find the right people. But also have to believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, where you're at now, what got you here, that hyper growth season in the beginning when you were building, that season of grind is irreplaceable.
Not only is it irreplaceable, but I did it not just at the beginning. So I love that you're doing it for 2.5 years and you're still hustling like crazy and you're doing the most. There's things I obviously would have maybe done a little bit differently, but also maybe not, because it taught me so many amazing lessons. But it's something that money can never buy. Money can't buy me leaving my house every single day and not coming back until I had 5 brand new contacts connected to me, which meant I had to go talk to people in public, which I hated doing. Money can't buy the skill set, and you can't purchase the skill set of training on stages. You have to do it. Money can't buy any of the skill sets I have, how to run a calendar, how to run inventory, how to lead people. You only learn that by failing and by doing it. All my list of skill sets, all the stuff I'm good at, it is from doing it. It's not from reading a book. It is not from paying somebody, to do it for me. It's from actually getting in the mud and doing it. So I love that you're in that stage, because it's irreplaceable. It makes you formidable. It makes it so that if everything, God forbid, falls apart right now and you lose everything you've created, which you won't, but if that were to happen to you, you can sit there strongly and say confidently, it doesn't matter, because you can't take this. You can't take this and you can't take this. And if you can't take these 2 things, and forget about it. You can take all my money. You can take all my stuff. It doesn't matter. I'm still going to win. It's like those people on that undercover billionaire show or whatever. Well, why do you think they can make $1 million in 30 days or whatever it is? Because they've done it before. It's the same. And business is almost nearly all the same. People just don't seem to understand that. It's like we're all on the same hustle and grind. It's why all the entrepreneurs that are powerful hang out together. It's because we've all been through the same muck. And then for your hiring things, little tip, use a great recruiter. It has made, every time I've tried to hire somebody, and I have hired people, that person's got these good skill sets, or this person on ZipRecruiter or Indeed or whatever these websites are that people get paid to say are amazing. Listen, it's worth the money to use a recruiter to find good talent, in my opinion. Big time.
It's one of my favorite conversations. And to be honest with you, this is like the most, I believe in preparation builds confidence. Obviously, there's a lot of things I wanted to attack, but this conversation is all over the map, the most organic possible. And this is what I love.
I'm going to tell you right now. It's true. Becca said, incorrect. You can learn a lot vicariously in school or otherwise. You don't have to only learn by failing. Imagine if your surgeon learned by failing. Prefer not. Hope not. Also, Emily, no, this is not a Barbie tumbler, but I guess I'm just going to go and say yes, it is. Yeah, that's a Barbie tumbler. It's a Starbucks tumbler that I got that it's kind of like iridescent and then pink and, But I guess I could say it's a Barbie tumbler, right? It's giving that vibe for sure.
And a couple of things there. And one, in regards to hiring, that's a really good suggestion. I'm gonna definitely talk to you about that after all.
Yeah, I would love to help. Because really, if you're going to scale and grow this, it's not about you being the best at everything you do. The way that I've been able to scale and grow businesses, this is like some free game I'm about to put you on. It's about knowing how to do all the different things. Like I know how to operate every single facet of my business. Am I the best at it? Also, probably yes. However, I don't need to be the one doing it.
There you have it, folks. Jessie Lee in her natural habitat.
So the only way I can grow a company is if I step out of it and I hire somebody to do it so that I can focus on the things that actually bring in the ROI and actually scale and grow the business. And too many people, especially if you're a good operator, like I guess you probably are because you're building and scaling this as fast as you are, is that, they're not going to, listen, no one's going to be as good as you. But if you can hire somebody who gets it done, then you can be over here creatively applying your skills and your time and your talent and your convictions into things that will actually grow your business.
You're awesome.
So hire.
Most people in that scenario would say, the truth is, Craig, there's people out there that can do things better than I can. But I know what you mean. Like no one's going to attack.
And well, here's the thing though. I love hiring up as well. So if I'm going to hire a C-level executive, I want them to be filling in the gaps of stuff that I know how to do, but I am terrible at. So there's definitely things like that, but not in your basic steps of building a business. No. You better know how to, like, if I own a construction company, I need to know how to lay the bricks. I need to know how to paint the walls. I need to know how, I don't know how to choose this as an example. I don't know how to do nothing. I need to know how to use a hammer, a screwdriver, or whatever. I need to know how to do all of those things. But then maybe when it comes to operations or comes to finances or comes to whatever, marketing, I'm great at, but whatever, maybe I'm bad at marketing and I want to hire a CMO. Okay, well, those.
Jesse, that was an example. You don't have to add a disclaimer that you're good at. It's just an example. You can just say, well, let's say I'm bad at marketing. I'm good at it, but let's just say, like, you don't have to add that. Stop, like, kissing your own butt. That's just weird.
People I want to hire up, so I go, wow, I don't know what you just said, but that sounds really, really good. And I know you have the talent to do it. So let's roll. And then you've got people at that top level where you're brainstorming with your top execs, but brainstorming with your normal staff is not a necessity that I think a lot of people end up doing because they're too scared to hire well.
Interesting. Yeah. And put a value system together, right? Like, what are the highest value things done right doesn't cost, it actually pays, because then they could do this and you can say in your zone of genius and really,
Exactly. And I've made bad hires. I mean, I had somebody on staff that I was paying $135 grand a year to, and I'm telling you, when I say that girl did not make me a dime, she cost me a lot of money, but the right person in that right role might cost me $135,000 a year, should have made me at least 1.35. I learned that from a mentor of mine who said, anybody over $100,000 a year better be making you 10 cents on every single dollar you spend them, or else they're not worth it.
Yeah, I love that. So good. One of the many things that you're really, really good at is obviously being a leader. Build a huge network marketing company and all the things that you're doing now. Everyone's leadership style is different.
Yep.
Right? What do you pride yourself in doing to bring out the best in people? I'm just curious, what is your style?
Yeah. I'm known for my relationship building, and I find that to be incredibly important because it allows me to instill belief in others, which is definitely my.
I will say that she is absolutely known for her relationship building. I don't think it's in the way that she thinks it is, but it's definitely what she's known for.
Leadership weapon. If there was a leadership superpower I had, it's me seeing greatness in other people and believing in them so much.
That is your superpower.
Yeah, until they believe in themselves. That is like my thing. So I can look at somebody and be like, oh no, like they have it. They just don't know they have it yet. I'm going to love this person and build a relationship with this person until they trust me enough that they want to run with me because they go, she sees me. She sees something in me that I don't see in myself, and I'm gonna rock with JulieJo. That's my superpower. Like, I can see greatness in people, and then I build that relationship long enough to trust, so they trust, and then we're off to the races.
Love that. And I imagine you're the type of cat that doesn't co-sign anyone's bullshit.
Oh no, and some people are like, listen, somebody even that I love a lot was sending me a message like, I just don't have the passion anymore. I don't have whatever. And I'm like, you have made over $1 million in 5 years doing this. From somebody who couldn't make more than $2 grand a month, you've made over $1 million in 5 years. You want to quit? And I just kind of left it at that. I'm like, I want you to think about that. I just want you to think about it. I love you. I'm not going to tell you either way to go. I just want you to think about that. Right? Like, you don't have to be aggressive. You don't have to yell at people. You don't have to, that's so freaking stupid. Why would this? It's like, take the emotion out of it for a second. Are you sure that's what you want to do?
Okay, JulieJo, the reason you do that is because you're going to lose money from them leaving. Also, Erin Bees, my lovely bestie, whom I adore and that you should subscribe to, told me one of the legs, she said that she's drawing blank on the second one, but like the leg that, so if you weren't here earlier, JulieJo's having 2 of her legs leave. Like 2 of them are leaving. One of them for sure that I'm going to tell you who it is that Erin told me is someone who she pretty much like pushed out of the empire, but is like by far her biggest leg that is leaving, and she's losing over $500,000, by the way, from it. It's Christina Wood, who's going to Q Sciences, and her entire downline. And JulieJo's upset, and I'm like, girl, but you're the one that like excluded her from the empire because she didn't like agree with you. Interesting.
Because I don't think it's a good idea. And if I'm your coach, if I'm your mentor, and I'm your leader, I'm telling you, I don't think it's a good idea. You can explain to me why on the other side that you think it is, but let's have a leadership and adult conversation around what you're about to do, because it might be the biggest mistake of your life.
Okay, but you can't just like, this bothers me. If you are benefiting from that person staying in the company and you're acting as though you don't think it's a good idea for their sake, only, you're a liar. You're a hypocrite and a liar. Andrea, hey. You're a hypocrite and a liar. Why? Because you're also thinking about yourself, and probably mostly thinking about yourself. I mean, how can you not be, though? Because you're making money off of them. Your upline should not be your mentor. They make too much money from you. They get too much from you. You should have a mentor that is not benefiting from you and your actions. I feel like a mentor is not necessarily someone you need to be paying. I just think that's weird. A mentor is someone, in my opinion, like for me, someone who's been, let's say, I have a mentor, an ultrasound technician. Let's say someone who's been in it for 5-10 years, more than me, and someone who I look up to. They're not going to pay me to be my mentor. I'm just going to learn from them. Conflict of interest, absolutely. Absolutely. Do the leaving legs take their legs with them? I know that they have. I know that Christina has taken her leg, which is one of the biggest legs in Jessie Lee's downline.
Yeah, I love that. Do you have people around you also, aside from a mentor, like maybe people on your team that can check you a little bit respectfully? Be like, hey, Jessie Lee, I think we could look at this a little bit differently, or I think we could thrive a little bit over here, or maybe that's not the right approach. Do you have people like that?
My whole staff. I don't want to keep yes men around me. I don't want to keep people around me who are too scared to be honest with me either. My best friend is really good at this too. She'll check me on things. And in general, I love people like that. You know, I don't claim to be Queen Kong over here. You know, I don't claim to know everything about everything. It's like, no, I became great at things because I was willing to take constructive criticism. And that's something a lot of people, because of the internet, I've noticed, don't want to do. This idea of, you know, it's like, oh, everything is not black and white. Everything is very gray. Okay, so there's no black, there's no white, there's a million different shades of gray. And so if you're able to step back for a minute and start looking at things like, maybe Craig's right. Instead of going, no, Craig, that's not what I said. Like I've ended up making incredible business shifts in business, like, I mean, nearly polarity in some situations, because somebody came to me, I respected them, I took the call, I took the meeting, I did what I listened, and I said, you're right. You're actually 100% right. I'm gonna make that shift. And that's sometimes where some of my hyper growth comes from. But you can't grow if you're not willing to listen.
This is so funny because every time she says she's not aggressive, she does it aggressively. So Erica said her aggressively trying to prove she's not aggressive is sending me. And that's exactly what she did on like the podcast with Jane Marie. Jane Marie was like asking like, so, you know, what I told y'all earlier. And she was like, she had to prove she's not aggressive. Like she said she's not aggressive in the most aggressive way. I'm like, Jessie, what are you doing? Oh gosh. Oh man.
It's like leadership 101. How are you going to be a leader who's not willing to listen? And you're going to be what, a dictator? I don't really think people are looking for dictators these days. They're looking for people who will actually listen to them and give them a voice. So I don't keep just like, do I understand I can be intimidating sometimes? Sure. But also I'm very different in a work setting. I don't bark at my employees. I don't talk down to my employees. I hire good people, like I said. So like my business managers called me before and he's like, this investment is going to be a terrible idea. Will you please listen to me about this? I'm like, talk me through it because I like it. I'm like, what? Okay. It's like there's been plenty of times I could have made horrible mistakes, but because I was willing to listen, it saved me. God, I don't know, a lifetime of pain, disappointment, and brokenness.
I love that. My fiance, she's from Ukraine.
I saw that.
You know, I shouldn't say she's 14, she's basically American, but she has that savage in her. And one of the many things that I love about her, kind of like you, and also I know you're big on, you said business manager, you're really big on mentorship and coaches. Yeah. That's a big thing for you in all components, in all areas of life. Is that right?
Yes. So if you want to scale and grow, the fastest way to do it is to get in a time machine. Time machines I find are 3 different things. Number 1 is go to events. Number 2 is join masterminds. And number 3 is hire a coach. They are time machines. Instead of me trying to figure out how Ed Milet is worth $900 million, why wouldn't I hire him as a coach when he offered, even though it's crazy expensive? I love every dime I pay for the man. And jump in the Ed Milet time machine and say, you've done this, 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 this. I'm doing this, 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 and this, but I am here and you are here. Teach me, you know, like his blueprint is literally almost identical to my blueprint, but he's 30 years ahead of me. Well, then I'm going to jump in the time machine. I'm going to put my seatbelt on and anything that man says to do, turn left, boop, 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 boop. Like I'm just doing what my coach says to do. Well, masterminds are no different.
I thoroughly think, D-Lo, that she's writing just to look important. She could be writing something down, but I just don't think it's worth it. Hey, you want to say hi? Oh, my dogs want to, our babies want to say hi. Okay, my babies wanted to say hi. All right. back to it.
I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on masterminds because I want to get in front of people like the War Rooms or the 100M or the Avengers or whatever, tons of these masterminds, to get around people who understand me, who I go, I could say, this is where I'm stuck in my business. This is my holdup right now. This is where I have a blind spot. This is what I think is missing. And I can learn, I can grow, they can answer questions. They can, you know, like Ken Clothier helped me with so much stuff. Ken's like my dude. Ken's like, girl, you just need this. If you do this changes. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be out of here. I'm gonna do this. I'll see you in 3 months. Like, it's been worth every penny. Every big room I want to get in, I get in. I figured it out. Even I was spending money on events when I didn't have money to be spending on events. You know, like I was like, that event costs a lot, but I need to be in that room. Like sometimes you just know you have that intuitive calling. But I think higher education, whether you want to call it this is interesting to me. Wow, I'm on a tangent, but I gotta tell you, people have no problem paying hundreds of thousands of dollars on an education. College is not a scam, right? This Ivy League is, my kid got into Harvard, my whatever. Like their whole family will go bankrupt, hoping that their child will go to Harvard, excel at Harvard, Stanford, Princeton, whatever, and leave and then become a doctor or something, doctor, lawyer, whatever, and change the world, right? The whole family will risk bankruptcy on this. But somebody says, I need $10,000, $20,000, $50,000. I'm joining this mastermind, going to this event. There's this weekend where all these business coaches who are making, 8, 9 figures, blah, 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 whatever, going to be, whoa.
Okay, Jessie Lee, show me the success rate then. Show me the success rate of someone going to Stanford as a lawyer and coming out as a lawyer versus someone going to a mastermind and coming out as a millionaire. And like what Dawn said, false equivalency. That they don't equate to each other. You cannot take this and say this versus this because she knows. Oh, sorry, I got distracted. Oh, my bestie texted me. Aaron, did you send me a text from that? Oh, Melissa Hartman is the other leg from Jessie Lee's downline. Everyone say thank you to Aaron. This pause though, yeah. But like, she will never share those statistics because they're horrible. They look horrible for her point. Boy, oh, the baby.
No, it's like, what are you doing? Like, what? So you're going to send your kid to a business school to learn from somebody who's never built a business. Make it make sense. So to me, it's just, this is the higher education, not choose. You choose this higher education. I choose this higher education. Of course, I went to school too, and I got a degree and whatever. But that's not the point. The point is, I did that for my Nana, who raised me. It made her very proud, so I wanted to get the degree. But I always had the entrepreneurial hunger. I always wanted to get around people who were just monsters at whatever they did. Like, put me in this time machine. And about your fiance really fast. I love that she is from Ukraine. And I love that because I have this, I don't know how to explain it. It's like this weird innate respect for immigrants. I don't know how to explain this because I see their hustler mentality. It's different than people who grew up in America. It's like, I don't even know her and I know her. Like, I know it sounds very crazy, but you said, she's a hustler, she's Ukrainian, but yeah, because she's seen different things. She has a different level of appreciation. It's like, I have not been to Ukraine, but I was one train stop away. Okay. I almost ended up there. It's a long story.
Okay. I got a potty. So here's what I'm going to do. Y'all stay there. Don't leave because I'm going to play some music and put a cute little be right back sign up. Don't go. We'll be right back. I forgot that it wasn't on loop. What can you do? All right, I'm back, y'all. I'm back. Hey, okay, let's keep going.
Story. I was in Poland and I was asleep on the train and I was one stop away from Ukraine. But anyway, the Wi-Fi is not good out there, man. Internet connection sucks. You're in the middle of the sticks. I was in the middle of nowhere even before Ukraine. Like, we are privileged here. And she knows it. And we forget. And so I bet she does hustle. I bet she does work. I bet she doesn't take no for an answer a lot of the time. I bet she calls you on your crap more than some other people do, which is probably why you like her.
No,
it's like I've met her. Look, see, I knew it. It's an immigrant thing. And I love that.
Yeah, no, you're awesome. And I know that she's speaking about friendship. I definitely like her. And you nailed all of it. She's savage. She's like, I'm a little too nice these days, which is weird because it wasn't always like this. And she's a little savage, so somewhere in the middle is perfect, but she's a perfect compliment to me. But I want to ask you, I couldn't agree more with the time machine. And when I reinvented myself, I didn't have any celebrity friends, any connections, any following when I did this, but I knew that I had been successful in other arenas, and I knew that those characteristics were transferable. But I also did this one thing. I put my ego aside. I realized I don't know what I don't know. Yeah. And I started getting in the rooms of people that weren't necessarily better than me, but were a little bit further ahead. And that's what everything changed. And you just nailed that. And I know there's someone rolling their eyes right now that's like, oh, easy for you guys to say, look where you guys are at. But what if you don't have the money to get to the event? But you also mentioned you were going to events when you couldn't really.
I missed it. Give me a second.
On your crap more than some other people do, which is probably why you like her.
No,
it's like I've met her. Look, see, I knew it. It's an immigrant thing. And I love that.
Yeah, no, you're awesome. And I know that she's speaking about friendship. I definitely like her. And you nailed all of it. She's savage. She's like, I'm a little too nice these days, which is weird because it wasn't always like this.
What's an immigrant thing? I might have missed it. But also, oh, thank you, Lydia. Welcome. But also, what do you mean it's an immigrant thing? Huh? That is weird. Heather, that is not gold. If you don't get the joke, it's because this podcast guy, I guess, apparently says, like, that's gold all the time. Her work ethic? She said, oh, is it this dude's wife's work ethic? Because Jesse's not an immigrant. That's such a weird thing to, like, throw in there. What?
And she's a little savage, so somewhere in the middle is perfect, but she's a perfect compliment to me. But I want to ask you, I couldn't agree more with the time machine.
Yeah.
And when I reinvented myself, I didn't have any celebrity friends, any connections, any following when I did this, but I knew that I had been successful in other arenas, and I knew that those characteristics were transferable. But I also did this one thing. I put my ego aside. I realized I don't know what I don't know. Yeah. And I started getting in the rooms of people that weren't necessarily better than me, but were a little bit further ahead. And that's what everything changed. And you just nailed that. And I know there's someone rolling their eyes right now that's like, oh, easy for you guys to say, look where you guys are at. But what if you don't have the money to get to the event? But you also mentioned you were going to events when you couldn't even really afford it. So what would you say to someone that's like, I want to get ahead, but I can't afford to hire a mentor, coach, or event?
So, I mean, you could say a couple of things. The first part is actually, you kind of answered it yourself. You said that you didn't have everything it took to build your business, but you had skills that transferred. And I think that transferable skills are exactly how you build multi-million-dollar or billion-dollar businesses. Reason being, there's, like I said earlier, business is really all the same. It's like, I don't know, have you ever waited tables before?
I have not.
Okay, well, it's an easy one. Most people have. So way to ruin my analogy, but that's okay. I'm still going to use it because it's a good one.
But my fiance has.
Okay, well, it still won't work, but I'm still going to say it. It's like, because I like waiting tables because I waited tables for so long. It's like when I started business, did I know business? No. Did I understand business? No. Did I understand people? Yeah. Why? Because I waited tables since I was 14 years old. And I started to learn patterns of behavior in humans. So when I got into sales, it was like, oh, I know what to look for. I know how to be nice to people. I know how to slow down. I know how to convince people. I know how to upsell people because I was upselling, cocktails. I was upselling appetizers. I was upselling whatever it was. I was, getting myself into better shifts with the managers and creating the relationships. Those were transferable skills. So somebody's like, oh, I don't have money for this event. It's like, you do. You do. What skills do you have to create the money to be able to go?
No, they don't. You can't just say, you do. You do. You do. No, they actually probably might not. Have you ever thought of that? Have you ever thought of someone saying, I don't have the money for this, means that they don't have the money for it? I don't know. I feel like that's pretty apparent. Or have you also thought of maybe they're saying they don't want to go without saying, I don't want to go. So they're going to say, oh, I don't have the money. Maybe they just don't freaking want to go.
Right? Like, start being solution oriented. Successful people are looking for solutions. They're not looking for problems and excuses. So How can you make money quickly? How much does the event cost? Is it $250? What can you sell in your house for $250? If you don't have anything extra in your house, what skills do you have to trade for $250? Can you mow lawns? Why are there children shoveling snow? I mean, it's summer right now, but why are there children mowing lawns? Can you not? Are you too above that? Can you not get on TaskRabbit?
Oh, that's real funny of you saying that, Jessie Lee. Are you above that? Jessie, that's funny that you said that of all people. Huh. The irony, the hypocrisy. Wow. Thumbs up, everybody.
And drill holes in people's walls and hang their shelves for $50 an hour. Hello? Do you not have a phone? Can you go on DoorDash? Oh, I don't have whatever. Do you have a bicycle? Because I've seen people bicycle for Grubhub, bicycle for DoorDash, right? Do you have a car? Or is it too below you to Uber? Like, I had this hustler, figure it out, do what it takes mentality about me all the time. So people, I don't have money for that. I'm like, if I told you tomorrow.
I don't have the right words for this, but I'm going to say it and maybe y'all will have the right words in your head. I'm so freaking annoyed with someone saying, I have the right mindset. I had hold on, let me hear what she said again. I want to say exactly what she said.
Of that, can you not get on TaskRabbit and drill holes in people's walls and hang their shelves for $50 an hour? Hello? Do you not have a phone? Can you go on DoorDash? Oh, I don't have whatever. Do you have a bicycle? Because I've seen people bicycle for Grubhub, bicycle for DoorDash, right? Do you have a car? Or is it too below you to Uber? Like, I had this hustler, figure it out, do what it takes mentality about me.
I am so tired of people saying, I had this hustler, figure it out, do what it takes mentality. And what? You know what you also had? You also got into MLMs early. You also had a downline that you took with you to a bunch of different MLMs. You also probably had a husband that helped you. They're divorced now. You had luck. You had things that not everyone has. So it's not all about your go for it mentality. You can have a really hardcore, I'm going for it, I'm doing it mentality. But if you don't have luck, if you don't have privilege, if you don't have enter the blank, right? Enter the word in the blank. Bridge contract, allegedly. Then guess what? It won't happen for you. So what they're doing a lot of times when people say that is they're saying that it's their hustler mentality when in reality, they're not saying the other 50 things that it was that helped them got there. They're leaving them out because they're saying that's all I needed. No, it's freaking not.
I mean, all the time, so people, I don't have money for that. I'm like, if I told you tomorrow, all right, here's one you can answer since you didn't wait tables. All right, Craig, what is your dream vacation? Where's your dream destination? Where would you like to travel? Anywhere in the world, if you could pick like the place that you're like, that's the honeymoon spot. That's where we're going. What is that?
That's a good question. One thing that comes to mind, but it's probably not what you were expecting, is Paris.
Okay, well, I'm gonna tell you right now. I love this for you, but Paris is very overrated, so that's okay. But you should go. You should go just so you waste your money, and then you can come back and we can do a follow-up interview about how Paris is overrated. Okay, but I'll use Paris as an example. So actually, it's a good example because if you want to enjoy Paris, and I'm not about to exaggerate, you need to budget roughly $5,000 to $7,000 a day to enjoy it. Just so you know. Okay. So with that in mind, let's say that I call you right now and I say, Craig, man, what's up? And you're like, oh, not good, Jessie Lee. You know, business just tanked, got no money, can't stand my life, but you know, I'm going to figure it out. Jessie, I say, oh, God, Craig, it's okay. We're going to figure it out. Listen, I actually, look, I'm going to tell you what, I had this trip booked to Paris. It's crazy. It's for 5 days. It's $35,000. And it's the trip of a lifetime. You're staying at the Shangri-La with the balcony suite that overlooks the Eiffel Tower. I have a private photographer and videographer that's gonna go around with you. Every meal is booked at a Michelin star restaurant. You're gonna go shopping on the strip every day. It's already planned. We've got like concierge service set up to take you shopping on the main strip there with all of the designer stores. We have a private car and a butler ready for you. But here's the thing. The only thing you have to do is I need you to find $2,000. All you have to do is get plane tickets. And I just looked it up. The flight leaves tomorrow. There are 2 plane tickets for you and your fiance. But that's the only thing that's not covered. But the rest, 35 grand, done. I already paid for it. I just can't go. It's non-refundable. Do you want it? Let me tell you. What's the answer, Craig? Go ahead. Answer the question.
Yeah, I'll get it to you in a couple hours.
Every single person, if Paris is their dream location, is sitting there right now like, I don't got I'm gonna figure it out. They're gonna sell a TV off the wall. You're gonna call your friends. Hey, you got $100? 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 Hey, you're gonna go. Can I wash your laundry? Can I fold your clothes?
No, that's not true. I mean, I'd just throw it on a credit card if I'm being really honest, and then I'd pay that off, but that's not true. I'm not going to call up my bestie and say, hey, you have a couple $100 I can put towards going to Paris tomorrow? That's freaking weird. Also, why would I want to go to Paris without my bestie, okay? Come on. She's so out of touch, it's disgusting. I think that's a good way to put it. She is so out of touch. But a lot of these people are. Like the person who is interviewing her as well. And Milet, they're all so out of touch. They created this own alternate reality for themselves that they like to live in. It's quite wild.
Can I clean your house?
Ethically, whatever it takes.
Whatever it took. And so the thing is, everybody has money for what they see value in. So if people understood the value of events, the money's a non-issue. If they understood the value of paying for a coach, oh God, it's $300 a month. Are you kidding me? A coach saying one thing can make you $1 million, and that's not an exaggeration. I mean, like $1 million like that. It's crazy because it's a redirect. It's a 1-degree shift. It takes you off like a rocket ship. If you can find the money for like,
you know what is so interesting to me is that Jessie Lee and people like her act as though it's her, like it's them, like it's Jessie Lee is rich because of Jessie Lee. Fun fact: she's not rich because of her. Jessie Lee's not rich because of Jessie Lee. Jessie Lee's rich because of her downline. That's how Jessie Lee got to where she was. She got to where she was by taking advantage of people, by seeing their insecurity and hyping up something that could potentially help it when in reality it's not going to help it. She took advantage of people and their insecurities and the things they were struggling with. And that's how she became wealthy. Jessie Lee didn't get herself wealthy. But they all think they did it. Jessie Lee's like, if you'd ask her, are you rich because of you? She's going to say, yeah, it was my work ethic. It was this. No, it wasn't. Oh, Kara, there are no ethical billionaires and there are no ethical rich MLMers. True. It was still magical. And all this nonsense stuff I've heard come out of her mouth. I've never made a dime. Where's my millions, Jessie? Right? But it's true. Like, she's only rich. Oh, that's also a good point, Holly. Holly said Jessie Lee is only rich in the monetary sense. There are so many other ways to be considered rich. Absolutely. Like, she didn't make money because Jessie Lee didn't make money because of how much of a hard worker she was or how much effort she put into her business. She made money because she got into MLMs early on, like when it wasn't considered necessarily bad, right? It was like 2007, something like that, early on. And she built a team. She got in super early, built a team, and then took that team with her to every company. She's not rich because of herself.
It's just people find money for what matters to them. So the money excuse is just one of those excuses. I'm like, please don't even try that one on me.
Yes, team.
That was awesome. I'm so happy I asked you that. And I love how you landed the plane and took that analogy home. Like if it was high value to you, what would you not do? Right? Ethically, honestly, to get that done.
Yep.
And so that's what the time machine is, as Jessie Lee explains it. For a mentor or a coach or a mastermind or an event or something that's a little bit further ahead. Literally, one idea can quantum shift your entire life.
Yes.
So I'm asking the listeners right now that are listening, because we have a lot of entrepreneurs, but also aspiring entrepreneurs. What is the cost of inaction, of you not putting yourself out there? For me, before I did this, when I finally got clarity on what I wanted to do, the cost of not taking action on this, I actually associated with death. And then from there, the scariness of leaning into the unpredictable transformed into excitement because I made it very real for myself.
I love that. And my answer is not much different. My answer is, what's it costing you? I'd say it's costing you all your happiness. And then I also said your life. You know, I think most people are just kind of hamsters on wheels and they live their life and it's just like same thing every day, Groundhog Day, Groundhog Day, Groundhog Day. That is not how your life was meant to be lived. You can't.
Oh, no. That's not how your life was meant to be lived, Jessie. You know what? I freaking love my schedule. I love the nights that I work. I love coming home, doing my schedule, doing like at work, I have rituals that not like actual like rituals, but like things that I do every single time. ways that I, at a certain time I do this, at a certain time I do that. Like, just because you like it for your life doesn't mean, one, other people have to have it that way. Two, that you have to convince them that they have it that way. Or three, oh shit, what was three? That they'll like having it that way. Does that make sense? It's just, she's like, you're not made to be on like a hamster wheel. Well, guess what? My hamster wheel's pink, sparkly, and I freaking love it. So, back up. Don't touch my hamster wheel. And let me keep running, babe. I just don't get it. Aw, Cindy, we love and appreciate you too. We really do. Wit said, did he just say something about and compare that to death? That's rather bold statement considering the cancer journey Jesse's on. That is rather bold. Lydia said, same Julie, I love a good planner moment. Nothing wrong with the structure if it works, right? Yeah. Absolutely. I enjoy the profitability of my 8:30 to 4:30 Monday through Friday. I know exactly when I don't have to work. Yes. Routine is amazing. Yes. And have a constant income is wonderful. Yes, exactly. Some people would do anything to have that routine, to have that constant income, to have that job. Some people would do anything to have that. Some people would do anything for structure, but they don't have the ability to have that. The predictability. My hamster wheel is holographic purple. What does your hamster wheel look like, everybody? Let me know.
Convince me of that. If you're not happy, I don't care if you're listening and you're 100 years old. It's not too late to change. 100 might be pushing it. 90. It's not too late to change. It's like, is it going to be uncomfortable to say yes to something new? Yeah. But what you're really saying yes to is to your true authentic self. It's you saying yes to what you care about. It's you saying yes to the things that are pulling on your heart all the time. At the end of the day, it's like, I say it about character all the time. At the end of the night, when I put myself to bed, I ask myself, I'm like, am I proud of the woman I was today? Yeah. And then I sleep soundly. Well, if every night you're putting yourself to bed, I can't sleep, I'm stressed, it's like.
Also, okay, Kenzie says this. Kenzie said she says that and preaches systems to be repeated every day. You know what also is funny is that earlier in this live, do y'all remember when she said that she does the same thing every day? Like that she has a schedule every single day that she does. And then she was like at 8 p.m., after all the days she has like 30-minute increments, remember? And then at 8 p.m. she like stops and does this to midnight. That's how it used to be. And then she like obviously changed it, but she has like a schedule every day. She's on her own hamster wheel. She just doesn't see it as a hamster wheel, but it is. My hamster wheel is teal and silver. I love my routine as a stay-at-home mom. Oh, loose routine as a stay-at-home mom. That's awesome. Design your own personal hell. But yeah, I mean, ooh, holographic purple with live bats flying around it. Oh, interesting. It might be pink and purple. It can be whatever you want it, Rach. Whatever you want it. But she said that earlier. So it's funny that she's like, y'all are all on a hamster wheel because we have our jobs, we have our schedules, we have things that we do. We are stay-at-home moms who have, like rituals with their kids or like, whatever. There's lots of different stuff, right? But we have our thing that we do. And guess what? So do you, because you admitted to us earlier today. You admitted it earlier in this live. This is something Jessie does that she's so hypocritical. She will literally say one thing and then 30 minutes later, completely opposite. Wild.
You're probably super stressed because you're super out of alignment with what you actually want in your life. And then ultimately you'll get to the end of your life and you've traded your whole life for comfort. Is that what that is? But then really, if you think about it, are you really that comfortable? Probably not. And I think it's better to be happy and live.
I'm literally so happy and comfortable. You can have both.
In a tent and doing whatever makes you happy than it is to be miserable. And, you see these mega billionaires, killing themselves. Why do trust fund babies have tremendous amounts of depression? Suicide rates through the roof. Well, because money is not the key. It's doing what you want with the money that will bring joy to your life that changes people's lives. And I don't think enough people understand that.
I think I could love you more. Yeah. I would say that. This is awesome. Special. But also.
She said, sorry, I just took a bite of a chip. Hold on. She said, money's not the key. And then followed that by saying, She said, money is not the key. But do what you want with that money. That's where your happiness lies. Look, listen to that. Listen to it. Listen to it.
And, you know, you see these mega billionaires, you know, killing themselves. Why do trust fund babies have tremendous amounts of depression? Suicide rates through the roof. Well, because money is not the key. It's doing what you want with the money that will bring joy to your life.
So money is the key. Because without it, Jessie saying you can't do what brings joy to your life. Do y'all see what, you know what I mean? You get it? Shelby said I was a stay-at-home mom but worked from home. Now I'm a part-time stay-at-home dog mom since my kids are grown. I love that my job is not my identity. It took years to unwind my career from my identity. Yes, that is such a good point. I agree. And Monty said, I don't think she understands that. Absolutely. She's just talking bollocks all the time. Yes, Megan, I agree. Yeah, she makes no sense. Exactly. Like, money's not the key, except in her next statement, it is the key. So weird.
It changes people's lives. And I don't think enough people understand that.
I think I could love you more.
Yeah.
I will say that. This is awesome. It's special. But also, I think one of the reasons why our message has really resonated and struck a chord is because I speak from contrast. I spent a very long time being visible. And yes, I was making money, and that is a part of success, but not the whole thing. And I wasn't fulfilled. I was depressed. And you have to activate that lit soul, right? And it's just to be clear, it's not the things that activate the soul, the money, the relationships, the watch, whatever. You can activate your soul now, and then you end up manifesting the things that you thought you needed to do that. And that's by getting in alignment, having passion, having excitement and enthusiasm, and going for it. So the cost of inaction or not going for your dreams is the highest cost of all.
Grumpy. Activating your soul. I like that a lot. And I hope more people will start to ask that question to themselves. You know, what is activating their soul? What brings them joy? What brings them happiness? Somebody earlier today was like, well, what's success to you? And success to me is always joy. It's always me creating the life that I don't want to escape from. The life that I wake up every day overwhelmed with joy for the life that I've created, overwhelmed with how I can give the way I want to give, overwhelmed with how I get to wake up and do what I want life by design. Because that really is my life. I've created this and I plan on staying in this until the day, my day comes.
Okay, great. However, the issue, Jessie, is that you think that the way you create your life is the way everyone should create their life. And that's the only way you can have joy. Not true. Your life is like my personal hell. I would hate my life if it was Jessie. She might say, that's a lie. Well, guess what? Money really isn't something that I care about as much. I mean, obviously you have to have it to live. But if I did what you did, which by the way, I have before in an MLM, I know what it took to get to the top 2%. And it completely destroyed my mental health. So I know, and I know that it is my own personal health.
Much further down the line.
Yes.
Hello.
And this is the last thing I'll say. It's funny when you talk about education. There's a chapter in our first book, the Reinvention Formula, and I also went to college. You got a degree because that's what I was doing at that time. But I talk about how education does not necessarily mean a college degree in 2023, in my opinion.
Yep.
And like you nailed it before when you were kind of explaining it. Someone will spend all this money to send their kid to a school to get all this lecture and lessons from someone that hasn't even done it. But meanwhile, it's a podcast episode, a book, an event, anything can educate you.
Yes. It's interesting because I think I learned that from, I went to a school where, I'm from Frederick County, Maryland, if anybody's from like whatever, but small town. But we had like the bad kids got to go to a school. I don't remember, I remember some CTC thing. I don't even know what it stood for, but they got to go to the school if they were kind of like the troublemaking kids who just weren't good at education. And they got to learn skills like welding, like construction, like whatever, all of these, you know, handyman skills, automotive repair and whatever. And I remember that those kids were the kids in high school that actually ended up having the nice stuff. I remember seeing that and being like, how do they have that truck? Or how do they have those clothes? It is because those kids were learning a trade. They were taking their education that wasn't the same as, you know, trigonometry or whatever they tried to teach us in high school, right? And they learned a trade all day long that then paid them significantly higher than those of us like myself working in an ice cream shop, right? Those of us like myself working at a pizzeria place. These kids had a lot more money because there's not one way to skin a cat, so to speak. You can learn and grow in so many different things. And my only problem really, well, I have a lot of problems with the education system, but one of my big problems with the education system is everyone's in one bucket. Well, clearly we don't all belong in one bucket, and we see that on social media. I figured it out. I figured out haters on the internet. This is going to sound crazy. But I think that the reason there are haters on the internet is, you know how when you're in grade school and they're like, this person, so they're in my school at least, it was like directed, merit, and whatever the top one was called, like the smart kids. I don't remember what that's called. I was a smart kid. I should know these, but whatever. Oh, that was the other one. Okay, so we got AP, merit, something, and directed. Okay, directed is like the ding-dings. All right. So the crazy thing is, if you think about it, we were sorted, right? You remember this? You were sorted on the East Coast too, right? East Coast is cool with sorting people. So we were sorted into these categories. Honors. That's what it was. Honors. So we were sorted into these 4 categories. Well, the problem with social media is they put all this back together again. You know, so you got the ding-dings telling the honor students and the AP students, oh, you and your business. No. Just kidding. I'm joking, but I'm really like, you did see. That's just a funny way to think about it. I'm like, that's the problem. You put us all back together again, and I wasn't supposed to hang out with these kids to begin with, and now you got these kids giving opinions on me. Like, they don't even know the difference between there, and there. Why are they commenting on my stuff? They think a lot is one word. Why are they on my comments? Why are they on my YouTube? Get out of here. Get out of here. You don't even know the difference between a noun and a pronoun. Go. Get out of here. Anyway, I don't know why I'm on that tangent, but education is different, you know?
100%. I love it. And I just want to say this. If you lost everything that you have right now, I don't mean like your health, I mean like your business and your wealth, whatever the case may be, and you had to step into something totally different that you had no experience in, you make it all back. Because you have financial security. I don't mean like because of your bank account, but because of your mindset and the tools that you've cultivated over the last few years. And that's priceless. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I'm willing to do what other people aren't willing to do, to have results that other people aren't willing to get. It's like, and it's interesting, I'm gonna say something that might sound weird, but if everyone took everything away from me, I think I would do a lot of social media to get it back, but I would knock on doors. I don't know who needs to hear that free game, but for people whose business is not doing what they want it to do right now, I would be knocking on doors, because we're in a really unique time right now. I've realized we're in a time where for a long time there, can you relate to this? Like when somebody would ring your doorbell, like hide behind the curtain. Like no one's here. Go away. Like, right? We were like, yeah, you're like, I'm not answering the door. Go away. No one's home. Bye. Right? When we were kids, you'd answer the door. Then there was that time frame where you would never answer the door. And now, because of DoorDash and Amazon and whatever, we open doors.
Yep.
So if I were like, man, money is like not it right now. Like my business is bad right now. Even in like, I mean, I should save this for my 5-day recruiting challenge I'm going to do. But like, even if I were needing to recruit people, I would knock on all the doors in every freaking neighborhood in my town and be like, hey, entrepreneur meeting. If you're looking to make some extra money, come check it out Wednesday night, 7:00 at the.
You know, I just have a hard time believing that she would actually go and knock on every door in the entire town. I just really don't think that she would do that. That's just my opinion, though.
Library. I don't know. I would just because I'm willing to do the stuff that everybody else thinks is crazy.
Yes.
Because I'd be getting my money back. Like you said, I wouldn't be sitting there having a pity party, sitting in my dog bed. There's a dog bed right here. Sitting in the dog bed, crying about how I don't have money, crying about how my life is falling apart, crying, whining, complaining. No, I'm going to do whatever it takes.
Oh, okay, Jesse. So yeah, you say you're compassionate and empathetic, but you just said that. Something she said recently was that she is so empathetic. But it's stuff like that that proves to me that she's not. She can't for a second take herself out of the equation, right? And say, well, some people, are valid. Oh, sorry, geez. I got this new mic stand. I'm trying to deal with it. And they're crying, they're blah, 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 right? She's like, that's just not me. She can't take her situation out of her mind and then look at other people empathetically, right? She can't have compassion for people who are struggling. Jesse is empathetic, but only to Jesse. Crying is a normal response to losing everything. Absolutely. Kindness and patience are her thing, remember? Claucus Anderson said, I love the fact that she thought Jane Marie's podcast was going to be another one like this, where she gets to talk a mile a minute about herself, bragging and dominating the conversation. Exactly. Holly said, what would she do when the first door is slammed in her face? Cry. That'd be interesting.
Even when you got cancer, you're not a victim.
Oh, why would you be?
No.
You're here for a reason. So figure out what that reason is.
And knock on some doors if need be.
if need be.
But when I first started, I just want to say this. I would stay up till 2 in the morning in the beginning of the pandemic, answering anyone's comments on my content that were gracious enough to leave one and message people back until I was blue in the face, or literally I got to so many that I couldn't anymore.
Yep.
That's what I was looking to do. And people are always like, I want to do what you're doing in such a short amount of time, Greg. I'm like, it's fine, but do you want to do what I did? And then right away, it's like they just look for the instant gratification these days. It's crazy.
Like my response time, people still can't believe. They're like, "Is that you, Jessie? I sent him a selfie." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm still."
Okay, yeah, you're right. No, I need to look at her face again when she said that. Ready?
Cancer, you're not a victim.
No. I don't know. I would just because I'm willing to do the stuff that everybody else thinks is crazy. Because I'd be getting my money back, like you said. I wouldn't be sitting there having a pity party, sitting in my dog bed. There's a dog bed right here. Sitting in the dog bed, crying about how I don't have money, crying about how my life is falling apart, crying, whining, complaining. No, I'm gonna do whatever it takes.
Oh, look at this. Morgan was right. She thought she ate. Girl, look at that face. She thought she did something. I love that for her. She really thinks she's on fire right now. But it's so funny because no, she just honestly, like, to someone who has logic and reasoning and is older emotionally than the age of 12, she looks absolutely ridiculous. She really did think she ate, didn't she?
Even when you got cancer, you're not a victim.
No. Why would you be?
She did, Micaiah.
You're here for a reason. So figure out what that reason is.
And knock on some doors if need be.
If need be.
But when I first started, I just want to say this. I would stay up till 2 in the morning in the beginning of the pandemic, answering anyone's comments on my content that were gracious enough to leave one and message people back until I was blue in the face, or literally I got to so many that I couldn't anymore.
Yep.
That's what I was looking to do. And people are always like, I want to do what you're doing in such a short amount of time, Greg. I'm like, it's fine, but do you want to do what I did? And then right away, it's like they just look for the instant gratification these days. It's crazy.
Like my response time, people still can't believe. They're like, "Is that you, Jessie? I sent him a selfie." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm still outworking you. Go away." People all the time, "Is this really you?" I'm like, "Man, I look like a busted can of biscuits right now." Yeah, it's me. Send him a selfie, no makeup, rolled up in my bed with a bun on top of my head. Like, oh my gosh, yes, it's me. Now purchase the program. Let's go. You know, like, come on. I'm trying to coach you. Join right now.
I have a dopamine hit right now speaking to you. I think I know the answer to this. Maybe the audience doesn't. What's the best way for our community, everybody, to support you? What are you most excited about right now?
What am I most excited about right now? Oh my gosh. Well, I gotta be honest. I'm most excited about the health stuff. Like the rest of it is secondary, you know, because I'm able to keep doing the stages and keep the accelerator crushing. My business coaching is called Accelerator. All these things that matter a ton to me are honestly just, it's the compound effect.
What would you do if Jessie Lee knocked on your door? Okay, everybody. Please don't say you'd like hurt her. We don't do that around here. But what would you do if she knocked on your door? I want to know.
Of all the work I put into the health journey, which was my biggest stressor, still is, of course. But that's my biggest thing is the health stuff going in the right direction. It feels like, wow, feels like the 4th of July, Christmas, Halloween, my birthday, Easter, everything all wrapped up in one. So that's what I'm most excited about and continuing doing that.
Kenzie said, am I interrupting something? Because I feel that too. Right? Between them two talking, I'm like, is something going on that we don't know? Is only anyone else having issues? Julio asking if it's blurry for just that. What would I do? Erin, I hope she comes on Sunday. I hope Jessie knocks on your door on Sunday. Me, Savannah, and Erin just pop up right in the doorway. Oh my gosh.
But from a business perspective, I'm most excited about the Accelerator program. I really love my business coaching. It is a passion project of mine. I love watching people's businesses soar because of my coaching. It's my legacy play and I just love it. And then to support me, I would say you should check out my business coaching. You might love it. Okay. And, you know, prayers are always appreciated with everything that's going, or thoughts. If you're not a prayer, that's okay. And then, you know, I always like to tell people this when they go, oh, I don't have money to support that. Not me, but like in general, when people are trying to build their business online and people go, oh, well, I don't have money for that. I can't buy your program. I can't buy your product. I can't buy your service. It is free to like, it is free to comment. It is free to share. It is free to talk to people about me, etc. All of that is free 99. And so you can definitely support me by doing that. So if you like it, share it. Love it. Don't keep it a secret. That's rude.
I love it. I love all this. I just want to personally thank you for being such a breath of fresh air and a bright light. You moved me in this conversation and I could talk to you all day straight up.
I know.
It was such a bright light. If the light was like black, you know?
Same. You make me like, I'm going back to Maryland, but I have a big speaking engagement in a week. So, but you know, I'll get up there. Well, are you in Jersey?
I'm in Manhattan.
I couldn't tell because I thought you might be in Jersey.
Or like a poop green. Or poop brown. Let's do that. She's such a bright light. That's the color of poop brown.
With like Manhattan behind you, but because I couldn't tell from your view.
That's
So
actually Long Island City behind me.
Oh, okay. I was like, you have either or. Well, I'm in Manhattan a lot, actually.
Pookie on a scooty. You're part of the Amberverse. Girl world. I can't say more.
Actually, so I will hit you up when I get there again, probably in like a month or two. I take my teeth cleaned in Manhattan.
Done. Jesse, hang up for 1 second. I want to connect you after.
Amazing.
I want you to put the definition of perspective, authenticity, and vulnerability. I can personally guarantee your best is yet to come. Keep on spreading your wings and leaving your mark on this
You're
world.
right.
So much love and respect to you. Thank you so much for stopping by and dropping these priceless, juicy nuggets today.
Amazing.
Okay, bye. I literally couldn't care less about the ending. Oh, I'm sorry, Julio. That stinks. Girl World. Okay, I can't do this right now. Maybe I'll do a live dedicated to Girl World. Stop. Okay, hey, everybody. Wow. She dropped some nuggets, all right. Yeah, freaking all over the floor. Then she picked it up and ate it. You know what? Same. I'm not going to judge her for that. But she did drop some nuggets of poop. Anyway, I'm really just so happy to be on here. I'm so happy to be live again. I'm just trying to get myself, my world together. Like, you know, if you don't know, I started a new job. I just moved into a new house. And I'm doing night shifts and stuff. It's a lot. I can't talk about Girl World right now. That is so wild that it has crossed. And then pooped all the nuggets out from her enemas. Oh, y'all remember Coffee Enema Lee? Coffee Enema Lee? Does anyone remember that? Contradictory nuggets, but still nuggets. Anyway, thank y'all for being here. I appreciate it. If you could like the video, and also if I hop off, if you want to boost it more, obviously you don't have to. It's totally up to you. You can just leave a comment. You know, I appreciate it. Thank y'all so much. And I'm so excited to do my next live. I'm going to do a members only live next. Hopefully I can do that early next week. And then later I'll do another live like this. So are we talking Amberlynn Reed and Poopgate? We can't. I'm not ready for that yet. Okay. Peace and love, everybody. Have a great afternoon, evening, whatever you're doing, wherever you are. I appreciate you being here. Get some rest. Do something that makes you feel good and happy, and cuddle something that you love, whether it's a dog, cat, or a pillow, whatever it is. Okay, bye everybody. See you later. Hold on. I thought I did an outro thing. Oh, I did. Okay, bye.